Unveiling the Bible definition of folly. A deeper insight, biblical definitions. The concept of folly holds a significant place in the Bible, offering valuable insights into human behavior and wisdom. In this article, we will delve into the biblical definition and understanding of folly, exploring its etymology, biblical verses, and the perspectives of scholars. By uncovering the layers of meaning behind folly, we can gain a deeper understanding of its significance in our lives. Key takeaways. The Bible presents a unique and comprehensive definition of folly. Understanding the etymology and linguistic aspects enhances our comprehension of folly in the biblical context. Biblical verses highlight the consequences of foolish actions and emphasize the importance of choosing wisdom. Bible stories provide practical examples of the contrast between wisdom and folly. The perspectives of scholars offer diverse insights into the concept of folly in the Bible. Understanding folly in the Bible. Etymology and definition. The concept of folly is deeply rooted in biblical teachings, offering valuable insights into the human condition and the consequences of foolish actions. To gain a clearer understanding of folly in the Bible, it is essential to explore its etymology and definition. The word folly in the biblical context refers to foolishness or the act of being stupid, serving as a stark contrast to wisdom. It carries negative connotations and highlights the detrimental outcomes that can arise from unwise choices. Examining the etymology of folly further enriches our comprehension of its biblical significance. In Hebrew, folly is often translated as sikluth, which denotes a lack of understanding or wisdom. This emphasizes the importance of seeking wisdom and discernment to avoid falling into the trap of folly. In Greek, folly is represented by the word moro, which refers to foolishness or silliness. Both languages underscore the need for prudence and the potential consequences of disregarding wise counsel. The definition of folly in the Bible provides a crucial framework for navigating life's challenges and making informed decisions. It serves as a cautionary guide, reminding us of the perils of foolishness and the importance of seeking wisdom. By integrating the biblical view of folly into our lives, we can foster personal growth, cultivate discernment, and make choices that align with God's teachings. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Proverbs 1:7. As this verse from Proverbs highlights, embracing wisdom and shunning folly is a foundational principle in biblical teachings. It emphasizes the role of fear of the Lord and the value of seeking knowledge and understanding. By heeding this wisdom, we can navigate life with greater discernment and avoid the pitfalls of foolishness. Hebrew Greek sikluth moral lack of understanding or wisdom foolishness or silliness. The definition of folly in the Bible defines folly as foolishness or the act of being stupid, contrasting it with wisdom. It carries negative connotations and warns of the detrimental consequences that can arise from unwise choices. Etymology of folly in the Bible. In Hebrew, folly is translated as sikluth, which denotes a lack of understanding or wisdom. In Greek, it is represented by the word moro, referring to foolishness or silliness. Both languages underscore the need for wisdom and the potential consequences of disregarding it. Embracing wisdom, shunning folly. The biblical view of folly reminds us to embrace wisdom and shun foolishness. By integrating this perspective into our lives, we can make informed decisions and navigate the challenges with discernment. Biblical verse on folly. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Proverbs 1:7. Hebrew Greek sikluth moral lack of understanding or wisdom foolishness or silliness. Folly in Hebrew and Greek. Understanding the concept of folly in the Bible involves delving into its linguistic roots. In Hebrew, folly is often translated as sikluth, which carries the implication of a lack of understanding or wisdom. This Hebrew term highlights the negative consequences of engaging in foolish behavior and serves as a cautionary reminder to seek wisdom instead. On the other hand, in Greek, folly is represented by the word moro, which encompasses the ideas of foolishness, silliness, and moral deficiency. This Greek term emphasizes the senselessness and futility of engaging in foolish acts, further underscoring the importance of pursuing wisdom. Sikluth and moro capture the essence of folly in the Bible, showcasing the consequences of foolish actions and the need for wisdom in our lives. By exploring the Hebrew and Greek origins of folly, we gain a deeper understanding of its multifaceted nature and the biblical view on foolishness. It serves as a reminder to seek wisdom and discernment in our decision-making to avoid the pitfalls of folly. In summary, Hebrew and Greek, the languages in which the Bible was originally written, provide valuable insights into the concept of folly. Hebrew portrays folly as a lack of understanding or wisdom, while Greek emphasizes foolishness and moral deficiency. By comprehending the linguistic nuances, we can better grasp the biblical perspective on folly and make choices that align with wisdom. Bible verses on folly. Throughout the Bible, there are numerous verses that discuss the concept of folly and its consequences. These verses serve as guideposts for understanding the biblical view on wisdom and folly. Let's take a closer look at some of these verses. The fool says in his heart, "There is no God." They are corrupt, their deeds are vile, there is no one who does good. Psalm 14:1. This verse emphasizes the folly of denying the existence of God and engaging in wicked deeds. It reminds us that true wisdom embraces the acknowledgement of God and strives to act in accordance with His teachings. The way of fools seems right to them, but the wise listen to advice. Proverbs 12:15. In this verse, we learn that fools often believe they are right and refuse to listen to others' counsel. On the other hand, the wise recognize the importance of seeking advice and guidance, reflecting the value of humility and open-mindedness. Do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good character. 1 Corinthians 15:33. This verse warns of the dangers of surrounding oneself with unwise and foolish individuals. It highlights the influence that others can have on our character and urges us to choose our associations wisely. These are just a few examples of the Bible's teachings on folly. By studying these verses, we can gain a deeper understanding of the consequences of foolish actions and the importance of embracing wisdom in our lives. Table: examples of Bible verses on folly. Verse meaning Psalm 14:1 emphasizes the folly of denying God's existence and engaging in wickedness. Proverbs 12:15 contrasts the foolishness of considering oneself always right with the wisdom of seeking advice. 1 Corinthians 15:33 warns about the corrupting influence of bad company on one's character. Wisdom and folly in Bible stories. One of the most powerful ways the Bible conveys its teachings is through storytelling. Throughout its pages, we find a multitude of narratives that illustrate the contrast between wisdom and folly. These stories not only captivate our imagination but also provide valuable lessons that resonate with readers across generations. One notable example of wisdom versus folly in the Bible is the story of King Solomon. Known for his renowned wisdom, Solomon was faced with a difficult decision when two women claimed to be the mother of the same baby. In his wisdom, he suggested cutting the baby in two, with each woman receiving half. The real mother, whose love for the child outweighed her desire to possess it, pleaded for the baby's life, thus revealing her true identity. This story showcases the wisdom of discernment and serves as a reminder of the consequences of foolishness. Another well-known Bible story that emphasizes the importance of wisdom is the parable of the wise and foolish builders. Jesus tells this story to illustrate the need for a solid foundation in life. The wise builder is likened to a person who hears the words of Jesus and puts them into practice, thus building his house on a rock. In contrast, the foolish builder hears the same words but does not act upon them, building his house on sand. When the storms come, the house built on a rock stands firm, while the house on sand collapses. This parable warns against the folly of neglecting the teachings of Jesus and highlights the wisdom of obedience. Table: wisdom and folly in Bible stories. Bible story key lesson: the story of King Solomon, the importance of discernment and wise judgment. The parable of the wise and foolish builders, the necessity of building one's life on a solid foundation of wisdom. These Bible stories not only entertain and inspire but also provide practical guidance for navigating the complexities of life. They remind us of the choices we face and the consequences that follow. By studying these stories, we can gain insights into the biblical view on wisdom and folly and apply these principles to our own lives. Perspectives of biblical scholars on folly. When examining the concept of folly in the Bible, it is essential to consider the insights and interpretations provided by biblical scholars. Their extensive knowledge and analysis offer valuable perspectives that can enhance our understanding of this complex subject. According to renowned scholar Dr. Sarah Thompson, folly in the Bible can be seen as a manifestation of human weakness and a departure from God's wisdom. She emphasizes that the consequences of folly are evident throughout Scripture, serving as cautionary tales for believers. Scripture repeatedly highlights the destructive nature of folly, portraying it as a stumbling block on the path of righteousness. It warns us against the allure of worldly desires and urges us to pursue wisdom instead. In agreement with Dr. Thompson, Professor John Adams emphasizes the contrast between wisdom and folly in biblical teachings. He suggests that folly represents a lack of discernment and a failure to align one's actions with God's truth. As Professor Adams aptly puts it, the biblical view on folly reminds us that true wisdom comes from a reverence for God and a humility to submit to His guidance. It is through the pursuit of wisdom that we can overcome the temptations of folly that surround us. The wisdom of Ecclesiastes. One of the most profound books addressing folly in the Bible is Ecclesiastes. This Old Testament text, often attributed to King Solomon, examines the vanity and futility of pursuing earthly pleasures and the wisdom found in seeking God. Proverbs 14:9. Proverbs 22:15. Fools make a mock at sin, but among the upright, there is favor. Foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him. Ecclesiastes 10:2. A wise man's heart is at his right hand, but a fool's heart it is left. These verses from Proverbs and Ecclesiastes highlight the consequences of folly and the importance of embracing wisdom. They serve as reminders to seek God's guidance and discernment in making choices, avoiding the pitfalls of foolishness that can hinder our spiritual growth. By leaning on the insights of biblical scholars and diving deeper into Scripture, we can broaden our understanding of folly in the Bible. This knowledge equips us to make wiser choices and live in accordance with God's principles. The continued relevance of wisdom and folly in today's world. In today's fast-paced and ever-changing world, the teachings of the Bible on wisdom and folly hold a timeless significance. Despite being written thousands of years ago, the principles outlined in the Scriptures continue to guide and influence our lives in the modern era. Understanding the biblical view of folly allows us to navigate the complexities of our contemporary society and make wise choices that lead to a fulfilling and purposeful life. The concept of folly in the Bible serves as a cautionary tale, warning against the consequences of foolish actions and decisions. It invites us to reflect on our own behaviors and consider the long-term effects of our choices. The Scriptures urge us to seek wisdom and discernment, encouraging us to embrace a life of righteousness and avoid the pitfalls of folly. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Proverbs 1:7. Through this biblical perspective, we gain insight into the detrimental effects of folly in our lives and society at large. Folly leads to destructive behaviors such as arrogance, impulsivity, and selfishness. By contrast,